Teaching today for tomorrow, social media in the classroom. In recent years, we have been telling our students to get off their phones and get their heads in their books. What? But in today's fast-paced society and the ever-increasing reliance on technology, are we really doing our students a disservice by not using these platforms in our classrooms? So let's look at the context of the social media in the classroom, shall we? By the end of this video, it is up to you whether you want to swipe left or swipe right.
Social media is fast becoming a prominent form of communication for students both inside and outside the classroom. In 2011, Facebook reached 750 million active members, while the top 10 social media sites reached a total of 2.9 billion registered users. As educators, we are faced with the issue of whether social media platforms just serve as distractions to quality learning, or if there is an actual opportunity to capitalize on its popularity to make learning more culturally relevant for students. One very obvious feature of this form of communication is that it differs from traditional methods of teaching, which incorporates the use of textbooks, handouts, and the occasional writing on the board. In modern classrooms, where there is a push away from chalk and talk to a more collaborative and differentiated approach, social media provides teachers with unique forums for fostering discussion amongst students. Twitter is a great example of this. It allows users to share ideas in multimodal posts that may include text, image, video, audio, links, and even GIFs, all in the generous space of 140 characters. Studies show that there is potential in using Twitter to shift students into a more active and participatory role for increasing teacher-student and student-student dialogue. This makes sharing materials and resources, answering common questions, and providing ongoing feedback much easier, which contributes to a sense of belonging to the learning community and hopefully improvements in academic achievement.
But let's face it, how can we properly implement anything new in our classrooms before we really know how to use it? Effective use of social media in the classroom relies on active engagement from both teachers and students. Incorrect or ineffective use of the platform may be a result of teachers lacking in experience in using the technology or students not willing to work as intended by the teacher. The technological world is evolving rapidly and can be very hard to keep up. It is said that it is not simply that the tools of literacy have changed, but the nature of text, of language, and of literacy itself is undergoing crucial transformations. Hence, the open nature of social media forums and the freedoms that some may feel behind a keyboard requires an explicit organizational structure to keep the discussion relevant to the topic. Self-pacing and continuous enrollment increase flexibility for students and teachers, yet this flexibility comes at a cost of greater requirement for student motivation, self-direction, and discipline. It would therefore require a teacher to experiment with the chosen platform before introducing it to the class. Although students may be more motivated to do the work through these channels, they are more familiar with the colloquialism they would use outside of the classroom. It is said that the next generation commonly communicate via email as they would via social networking sites or as if on the phone, whereas educators are most likely to view email communication with the same amount of professionalism and structure as writing a letter. Literate students would need to understand the appropriate use of language and would then be capable of code switching depending on the context.
However, this new means of communication opens the class to a wider world of collaboration opportunities. Social constructivism is an educational theory which relies on students working together to build on their collective knowledge. Social constructivism and social media in the classroom have parallel principles to be upheld in order to be successful. One such principle that is particularly relevant is that learners connect learning to the context of the real world and transfer knowledge to new applications. Through social media, students are more likely to engage in dialogue and collaborate with peers that they may not typically work with in the real world. This could have positive implications for developing student soft skills of collaboration and cooperation, with further positive consequences for social presence and students' motivation.
It is clear that effective inclusion of social media in an educational setting would require a lot of preparation and organisation. Then again, don't all regular lessons require the same amount of attention? So when it comes to social media in your classroom, would you swipe left or swipe right?
It goes down in the DM. It go down in the DM.